What's up, gamers and collectors? DGC back with another pickups video after a long await. Got a lot of cool stuff here. There's actually like legit some cool kind of some grails here for some Xbox stuff I've been wanting to collect for like 15-ish years, and I just never seen it in the wild. And I finally found a copy of two games that are just games that I've really wanted to add to the collection for a long ass time, and I'm happy to have grabbed them. Got some Nintendo stuff, some PlayStation stuff, and then mostly just Xbox 360, because that's kind of what I'm on, the 360 train right now. Toot toot. And let's check it out. Alright, so first up, like my good bud Mr. T, I was watching his video the other day, and he has not one, but two copies of NES Edition World Championship Nintendo sealed. He just never opened them. I have one too. I just haven't even opened it yet, and at this point, like, it's just so deep in the backlog that it's probably just going to go right there because it looks nice, and make sure it's nice and safe up there. And I don't know, I'll open it eventually at some point. I do love that game, but it's basically just the same game as the Wii U games packaged to the Switch with maybe a little bit of different stuff, but not much. So I could just play the Wii U versions and get the same kind of gist. However, I love Nintendo big box stuff just because they look awesome. I mean, look at that. That looks fucking sweet. Onto the PlayStation stuff. Not a whole lot here. Again, two of these games I've wanted to... Well, one I had, and then one I've never actually played. All three of them are still sealed, just haven't had time to open them yet. I did own Nier Automata at one point in time. This is a sealed copy. I mean, just a new copy for me. You know me, I open this stuff up. It's Nier Automata Game of the Yarha edition, or however the fuck you say that. It's not actually complete on the disc, though. It's a download code in here, so that's kind of lame. But regardless, my sister's husband has been playing this like a ton. I think he's played it like 3 or 4 times, and he's like, "You got to play it." And I was like, "All right, man, I'll buy it finally." So I guess if you play it on PS5, it would be the PS4 Pro version on PS5. So nevertheless, excited to play that. However, before I play that, I want to play Nier Replicant and the long-ass number that goes underneath of it, and you know what I'm talking about. Because this is the prequel to that, and then both of these are sequels to the Drakengard franchise, I think. So I guess the story, if I'm not mistaken, is Drakengard 3, 1, 2, Nier Replicant, and then Nier Automata, I think, is the actual storyline of that. I don't know. Someone correct me in the comments. Now, in typical limited run fashion, that disc is loose in the box, baby, because that's just how they roll. I'm almost confident at this point in time that they just put them in incorrectly so that people like talk about it, is kind of what I think. Unless there's like a cool keychain in here, but I don't think there is, so I don't know. This is Gray Lancer and Ginyong combo pack. I don't know. It's 2 shoot 'em ups. They look absolutely badass. I've seen Gray Lancer before. I want to say both these are Genesis games. You guys know that I love shoot 'em ups. I will be opening this for sure and probably stream both of them and then just play the hell out of this because I like them. I love that cover. That is a cool cover. Very excited to add this into the shoot 'em up collection. So that is the last of the PlayStation stuff. That was all the Nintendo stuff. Now, these next games here are all things that I really wanted to add to the 360 collection, and I didn't want to show them off kind of selfishly until I knew that I had them and knew that I had nice copies, because I didn't want it... I wanted to secure my copies before I was like, "Oh guys, you should collect these." But yeah, so this is a still sealed copy because I just found it that way. I actually found this for $4.95 when I was out with my cousin. And this is a exclusive to the 360, which you can actually see it on the side there. This is the first Templar, and it does come with a slipcover, which I didn't even know that until we saw it in the store. I was like, oh shit, I was going to get it regardless, but then the fact that I had the slipcover, I was like, nice. So I will open this at some point. It actually looks like a somewhat decent game. I love medieval type games, so it could be good. I don't know. It's from Calypso. They're kind of a hit or miss studio, so we'll see if that's good. Now here's another one. I did actually own this for PS3 with the slipcover, and I actually gave it to Tyler Stevenson as a gift a long time ago, and then I've always regretted not giving it to him because like he's my good YouTube buddy and I'm happy that it went to a good home. However, I regretted getting rid of it because I didn't own a copy. And now that I'm more into 360 and then the Series X just upscales pretty, it's like a good 1/3 of the library that it upscales, so, or does some kind of enhancements. So it's 360 is kind of just the way to go, and just kind of is what it is. But so this is a nice copy of Afro Samurai with the slipcover and everything. Really happy to add this back to the collection. I never actually finished it before I gave it to Ty Lord Stevenson, so I need to I'll have to restart it because it'll be a fresh save file on 360. This one I needed for the, and not exclusive Afro Samurai, but well, obviously, but this one started its life as an exclusive, and I needed a console copy of it, and also just the Xbox copy comes with this really nice slipcover for BioShock, which did start its life as a 360 exclusive. But I've always loved the slipcover on this because it's like embossed, and you see the Big Daddy, and then I guess the little sister as well, and then the logo, it's all embossed and everything. Nice copy of that. Not at all hard to find for this, but I wanted to grab a nice copy of that. Let's see, we got 2 more slipcover games. This, again, started its life as a 360 exclusive and then did eventually work its way to PS3 in a far inferior version. So the 360 version is going to be the best version you can get of this. And then it's even more immaculate on the Xbox Series X, and that being Ninja Gaiden 2. Cannot wait to play this. I've never even played any of this. I've never even really watched any trailers of it. I played the shit out of the first one, and I played the shit out of the third one on the Wii U. I've never played the second one, so I'm dying to get to this in my backlog. It's somewhere deeper in the backlog, but I cannot wait to play this on the Series X. Super cheap to get this. To find it with a nice slipcover is going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's not impossible to find, nor is it an expensive game. Here's another cool one. Again, not hard to find by any means. Definitely exclusive to the 360, and that being Fable 2 with the nice slipcover. This makes it the limited edition. And then you get like a bonus DVD in here, and then oddly enough, this 48-hour trial never got used. But yeah, I had to add that back to the collection. I wanted a physical copy. It is obviously on Game Pass, but I wanted a physical copy, and I wanted to make sure that I got it with the slipcover and everything, and really happy to add that to the collection. Here's another one. I had this launch month of the 360s when I got my 360. The second batch of 360s is when I got mine finally. So I had it launch month, and I got Perfect Dark, I got Cameo, and I got Need for Speed Most Wanted with my 360, one extra controller, and that was my first big boy purchase was the 360. Like that was like I dropped my dong on GameStop's counter and just said, "Here's my money, take it." That would have been, it was $420 for the 360 with tax, and then all 3 of the 360 games were $60. So, and then the extra controller, and then I got one play and charge kit if I'm not mistaken. I just remember dropping like $800, and as a 16-year-old dropping $800 that you just saved up, but man, was it worth it. And man, did I like Perfect Dark, and I had to get a nice copy of this again, and again, this is super cheap. You can get this for like under $15, like a nice copy, but really wanted to re-add that to the collection. I think that's on Game Pass if I'm not mistaken. Now here's a game that I've always wanted. My good buddy, Baltimore Retro Gaming, yammers on about this game. This is like one of his top 10 RPGs. He's a big RPG and shoot 'em up guy. Definitely recommend his channel. Cool dude. He really loves RPGs. He's pretty much played all the main RPGs, and he can tell you the stories. And he's an RPG and a shoot 'em up nut. But Tales of Vesperia is like his favorite. At least he talks about it a lot, so it's definitely one of his favorites. But I had to grab the 360 Special Edition. Now, unfortunately, I nabbed it for a really good price, but that's because it doesn't actually have the soundtrack in here. So, kind of sucks. It does have a bigger manual in it that is specific to this. And then it is obviously supposed to have the CD soundtrack. I don't have that, but it is nice to have the steelbook, and it's really minty, so kind of nice. I did know that it didn't have that when I bought it, but I wanted it anyway because it was $30. So I was like, you can't really pass up on that price. Now, Halo 4, a bit of a controversial game in the Halo franchise. I myself really enjoyed the multiplayer. However, the single player was not really that good. I really hated the robots. The robots, much like Gears of War 4 and 5, Halo 4 and 5, they really kind of ruined the games, in my opinion. They just weren't good. Halo is the Flood, the Covenant, and the humans. That's it. Gears of War is the human, well, Sarah people, and the Locust, and then also the Lambent. I'm good with that, right? They're basically the Flood, and I never really thought about that until just now, that they're basically kind of ripped off the story of Halo, but whatever. Still love Gears. Adding the robots, the DBs, and then I don't even know what they were called in Halo. That's how much I disliked them. But I am going to go back and play this again, and I'm going to give it another shot and see if I actually enjoy it with a not rushing through the campaign like I did when I first got it. I've only ever played Halo 4 one time. I'm going to replay it and see if I enjoy it this time. But I had to get the special edition big box kind of thing, because why not? I'm going to save this one here for a second. I've always wanted this. This is Fable 3, the limited edition. There's really not that much cool stuff with it. It just looks cool. The unfortunate thing about collecting 360 limited editions, and I've been going for all of them, at least the exclusive ones, they're all different sizes. And then let me put it next to a normal game. So then, like, the normal game fits on the shelf, then this doesn't fit in there, and then this is even bigger. So it's kind of annoying from that standpoint. So then you have to, like, put them sideways, and then they kind of need their own shelf to, like, put all these weird limiteds. But I just really love collecting these obscure, exclusive, well, they're not really obscure by any means, but these exclusive limited edition games, because they're just, I don't know, I like them. It reminds me of a good era of gaming. And so here's one that is actually quite expensive. I actually had to hodgepodge this, and I have the other one here, and you totally just saw what that was on the camera. So if you're a 360 collector, this is somewhat of a grail to get into your collection. The Mass Effect Limited Collector's Edition from way back, I guess this was 06, right? Very early on in the life. I would have been, pretty young when this, well, not young, but like teenage years, so I didn't have like tons of extra money to buy like lots of collector's editions, and I didn't even know this existed. I remember when Mass Effect came out, and I believe I played it, but I didn't own it back then. But I've always wanted the limited collector's edition, and it's very nice, and it comes with, a nice tin, manual, and then, that's like a codec, then there's the manual, then there's this other thing, then there's like a DVD in here, and then the game. It was really difficult for me to find a complete in-box copy with the slipcover. I actually had to Frankenstein 3 of them together to make a nice complete in-box copy. With that being said, though, in doing so, I ended up only spending about $100 to get the nice complete in-box copy by buying 3 different ones and Frankensteining them into one. So I still actually have a random leftover steelbook, and then I have the insert that goes in here, and then an extra copy of the game. I don't really know. I guess I'll just probably give this to my cousin, or maybe repurpose this for something else. I don't know. But this to me was one of the grails for the 360 collection that I really wanted to grab, and I'm really happy to finally add this to the collection. It started its life as an exclusive. It never went to the PS3 until it got put into the triple pack, which did bring it to the PS3. I would like to get the additional Mass Effect 2 and 3, which are not exclusive, but I'd like to get the big boxes because during this era, Mass Effect was such a huge thing. Like, thinking back on it now, there has not been a franchise like that really since Mass Effect came out that really like swept the whole gaming landscape. PlayStation community, the Xbox community, the PC community. There really hasn't been like a trilogy of games like that since Mass Effect, and it's kind of sucks. And we don't really get trilogy games anymore. They're really just kind of one and done games, and the big studios are just it didn't do good enough, we're done with it. Like Days Gone, for example, 1886, The Order, Until Dawn, they're re-releasing it, but it's like, dude, those were 3 dope games from Sony, and they're just like, nah, we're good. Fuck it. Whatever. It is what it is. But so now we got a bunch of, just standard disc games or whatever you want to call it. This one, haven't had a chance to open it yet because this came in the mail yesterday. The 360 store is down for good at this point. Well, we don't know that yet, but it's down in its traditional sense at this point in time. There's some speculations that there's going to be some other stuff happening with that in the future, which I think will happen. Microsoft is not going to just leave money on the table when they know people want to spend that money. But that being said, this is Capcom Digital Collection, which I'm really happy to add this to the collection. As of right now, Deal Tavern on eBay still has new sealed ones of these for $54 shipped to your house if you live in the continental US, which, yes, that's kind of pricey, but at the same time, when all these were still on the store, this would have been way more than $50 to buy all this. And then also, Commandos 3 has a DLC, which I did snag for $5, which is essentially a whole nother campaign to the game, so I'm glad that I grabbed that. I did also accidentally buy 1942 Joint Strike, which is on here. Oh well, I did buy Bionic Commando 1. This has Bionic Commando 2 on it, and I bought Bionic Commando 1 because you cannot buy that on the Xbox One, so I did secure that. I did spend, frankly, way too much money on the digital store buying a bunch of digital goods that are really kind of useless, but it still felt good to buy them. I bought, I'll quickly go over some of the stuff that I bought. I bought the epilogue for this game, Prince of Persia, which I recently bought, and then I found out that there is a true ending, which was DLC only, called the epilogue for this game. So I'm actually kind of excited to actually play this and then play the epilogue and kind of see that. So that was cool. Got that in time. And then I got the Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare 1 and 2. I got all the DLC story missions for those games because it's like a lot of content. I had no idea. It's like a lot of missions that you could add to those. And then I got the DLC for Azura's Wrath, the episodic pack, which comes with all the DLC missions for that, which is like, again, the true ending of the game. And then I bought what was the other big DLC that I got? Oh, Piggy's 10 or whatever for Enslaved. I got that DLC. I'm excited to play that. Never played that. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then there was one other big one that I got that was like a big DLC expansion to a game. I don't remember. It'll probably come back to me at some point in time. Now, this set of games here is actually kind of from two stores. Prince of Persia, and then these next couple, I don't really remember which two stores they came from, but these are my new two stores that I've been kind of hitting lately, and been getting some really solid stuff here. I got a good price on this. For once, I got some good prices on these games. This is Ruse: The Art of Deception, which is now a $40 or $50 title. You know me, CIB. Got this for $24.99, so $25. So roughly about half price on that, so I'm good with that. Prince of Persia, I think, was $5 to $10. Nothing too crazy on that. This thing has a thick manual in it. It is heavy too. Oh, you know what? This also, I don't know why, but it came with a limited edition disc too, but the case does not say that it should have, but it's just like a DVD making disc, so it's still kind of cool to grab that and have that in there. I don't know if they all come with it, but still cool. They did catch me slipping once. I was so excited to finally find a copy of Turok, because I've always wanted to beat this. I got stuck when this came out. I got stuck. There's like a Loch Ness monster boss that you fight in this underwater kind of dome-like cave. Maybe it was an octopus. It was either a Loch Ness monster type thing or an octopus type thing, or maybe like a Cthulhu type thing. It was underwater, like in like this giant rock dome thing. I got stuck on that boss fight, and then I gave up on the game, sold it years ago, and I finally grabbed another copy. They caught me slipping, though. I was so excited to see it, I added it to the stack, and it doesn't have a fucking manual. This is literally the only game behind me that's not cartridge-based, the only disc-based game that sits behind me that has no manual, because that's how anal I am about having manuals. I'm not going to get rid of this, but I need to find a manual for this, and there are none on eBay, and it really pisses me off. Here's another one that got a really pretty good price on this. This is the Dreamcast collection for the 360. So it's like a DLC, or not DLC, but like arcade, Xbox Live Arcade games that, physically released. So you got Sega Bass Fishing, Sonic Adventure, Space Channel. Space Channel Part 2. I always thought this was Space Channel Part 1, and I wasn't as excited. And then I found out that it was Part 2, which if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we ever got that on the Dreamcast here. So that's cool that it's Part 2, and then Crazy Taxi. I did also get the DLC for the DX upgrade for Sonic Adventure, which I also already owned the game digitally on Xbox, so I don't know if it applies to this or if it only applies to the digital version. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. This person that shipped this out, I kind of want to give them a shout out. It's called Catnip Games on eBay. I don't know why they sent me a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but it's cool. Nevertheless, I'll leave it in here, and I'll leave their card in here just as a keepsake. But they not only had a full sheet of bubble wrap in here, they also had this wrapped in and taped in bubble wrap, and another bubble mailer, and then another bubble mailer. And they didn't even charge any extra for it. It was like $4 or $5 shipping. So I was thoroughly impressed by that. So you get a shout out on the channel. Let's see here. We got these three kind of go together. So we'll go with these next. Got Game of the Year edition of Modern Warfare 4. Happy to add that to the collection. Obviously solid campaign there. Now these two, I needed to get both of these. I love zombies like a ton. I did download all the zombies maps. I still need to get a physical copy of World at War. I played the shit ton out of World at War zombie maps. I played the shit out of these World at War maps. I've never actually played these at all. I bought the season pass for this, which was a very expensive purchase just to get those maps. But I really wanted to, and there's actually like a lot of maps on here. If I'm not mistaken, it gives you like all the zombies, or not all, but like most of the maps are like built into the season pass of this. So I haven't actually delved into that yet, but I do have them all downloaded on the Xbox, so I'm excited about that. Another game kind of has some sentimental value to me in the sense that my good buddy Mainly Gaming, his real name's Corey. I don't remember how I found him on YouTube, but he was streaming Dante's Inferno. And we've now since become, good YouTube buddies, and I talk to him pretty regularly, and I even stayed with him 2 different times at Too Many Games, and, for the whole weekend or whatever. So we're pretty chummy, we're good buds, and whenever I think of Dante's Inferno, like, I just instantly think of him, and I've played through about half the game, and for the sake of our friendship, I need to actually beat and finish this game, but for him, I want to restart it and, thoroughly enjoy the game. So for you, Corey, I did buy a nice complete in box copy, and this is my forever copy now, and I'm excited to play this on the Series X and just really enjoy the shit out of that. Alright, then we got this Prince of Persia, which is Forgotten Sands. I don't really know a ton about this. I think this is essentially Prince of Persia 4 from the first 3 on the OG Xbox, 6th gen era, and then I think this is like the 4th one in that series. Kind of like adult Prince of Persia, where he's like more grown up. I don't know a ton about it. The other one is kind of a reboot, and then they just kind of stopped after that. And then they did the recent 2D one. Let's see here. We'll go over these next, and then this one and this one. Then we're getting to the cool stuff here. So I don't think I showed this, but I might have. I got a nice copy of Dragon Age Origins with all the DLC and stuff. Really happy to add that. I already went ahead and downloaded all that DLC. Dragon Age 2, I went ahead and bought all that DLC because I really love the Dragon Age games. I've beaten the first 2 and really want to replay them again because I beat them way back when they came out years ago. And they are both enhanced on the Series X, so I want to replay those as well. And then I went ahead and found a nice copy of Dragon Age Inquisition. Did not get any of the DLC for this. Wasn't really too worried about it, but I've played this, but I've never beaten it, so I need to go in and beat that eventually at some point. Now, this is something I've owned it many times actually, and then I somehow always let it leave my collection. Never again. Every time I do find it though, it's always just a fucked up, ratchet ass, nasty ass, grungy ass copy. For once, I found a good copy and it was $8. I was excited when I saw this. Command & Conquer 3. So I bought all the DLC for the Command & Conquer 3, and then Red Alert 3, and then Kane's Wrath. I love RTS games. I have such nostalgic memories of playing these, and then I think it's right here actually. And then Battle for Middle Earth. and my one buddy Jordan, we used to play the fuck out of those games. I would have my Xbox hooked up on the VGA cables, and then he would have on my 27-inch RCA TV, and then we'd be Xbox Living right next to each other, just doing these epic battles and shit. I just remember having so much fun, and I had to get all the maps and everything. But nice copy of this. I'm still looking for Red Alert 3 and Kane's Wrath 3. Need to find both those, but again, I just want to get really nice copies of them, and I don't want to pay out the ass for them. You know, $8 for this, very good price. I'm gonna save these last two because they're two games that I really never thought I'd see in the wild, because I just never see them. This is a trilogy here of RPGs on the 360, not exclusive. I don't think these ever came out on PC though. I think they're PS3 and 360 only. I don't think they came out on PC, and that being Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, and then 13 Lightning Returns. All complete in box, all really nice condition. Cannot wait to jump into these. I don't know if I'm going to be crazy and play these in order, because I would imagine this has got to be every bit of at least 150 hours, if not like 300 hours of gameplay to play through all this. I might... there's mixed reviews on these. Again, let me know in the comments what you think of these. I recently got into Final Fantasy with Remake, and then I played 16, and then I played 15 a lot, and then I played Rebirth, Final Fantasy, and I loved all of that. I had an absolute blast with all of those. And then these were, 14 was the online game, and then this would have been before the online game, the MMO game. So this was like the 360 era of Final Fantasy games that came out. So I'm excited to try these. You know, they're mixed reviews on them, but for me, it could be good. I don't know. We're going to find out. Now, the last two games here, this is something that I've personally only seen once in the wild myself, and my cousin grabbed it. He got it for $10. I unfortunately paid more than $10 for mine. That being, and this is a hot game now due to the recent Deadpool and Wolverine movie, that being X-Men Origins Wolverine Uncaged Edition. CIB, I did unfortunately pay $65 for this, so kind of the going rate, but I knew that I would really I never see it. I've never seen it until my cousin saw it, and obviously we have a rule when we go out game hunting. He who touches it first gets it, unless you whine enough and one of us will maybe give it away. But he who touches it first when we're out game hunting together gets the game, right? So he touched it first, so he got it for $10. I was out by myself when I found this, $65. It's the going rate, and I've always wanted this game, so I sucked it up and I bought it, and I know that I can always sell it for at least $65, so I'm good with it. Excited to play that at some point. Now, the Mass Effect was one of the Grail games that I wanted for this. This is the other Grail Xbox 360 collecting game. I have a dupe box. I always have kind of a duplicate box going in my wherever I am living currently. I always have a duplicate box going. And eventually, once it gets big enough, I usually either try to sell them individually for a while, and then if no one bites, I just take them all to the store. I took them all to the store. They gave me a significant amount of money for them. I happened to be doing one final pass after I grabbed all these 360 games. I was like, what do they got in this glass case here? And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, the Gold Edition. And I was like, man, I've never even seen that in person. And then I was like, man, I gotta have that. Because technically this isn't exclusive to the Xbox 360. So I was like, I really gotta have that. And obviously it's complete in box. And boy, does this disc look immaculate. Whoever owned this either just took really good care of this, or this was very recently opened, because there's not a single finger smudge on here. You could tell it. I've been collecting long enough to know when a game's been resurfaced. This has never been resurfaced. There's no finger smudges. There's no micro scratches. It is a beautiful copy. Absolutely flawless copy. However, the case is fucked up right here. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Another interesting thought. This is just the standard manual. There's no specific gold manual. I thought there would be. The disc clearly labels and denotes that it's the gold edition. And then the case obviously does as well. I'm not going to say what I paid for this. I definitely paid out the ass for this. But nevertheless, it's always going to be worth what it's worth. very happy to add this to the collection finally. I would like to find a copy of the second game as well, which I think goes for about 40 to 60, so nothing too crazy on the second game. Before I buy that one though, it's not exclusive, so I'm not like in a rush to get it to do video's sake. But I'd like to fully beat this and really sink my teeth into it and really get my money's worth out of this, because boy was this not cheap. I mean, I didn't pay the typical running rate on this, and most of it was just trade-in. There was a little bit cash on my end that I had to pay, but still really happy to add this to the collection. This and this were just really some grails that I wanted to add to the 360 exclusive set, and really happy to finally add both those to the collection and finally show those to you guys as part of the exclusive set, which eventually, inevitably, those videos will come once I've collected all the exclusives. So that's all the pickups for recently here. Hope you learned something today. Let me know about these Final Fantasy games. I'd like to know your guys' opinion on them, anybody that's played them. Another interesting thought here too is you can actually see the evolution of the cases of when these came out. So like this is old school 360, right, with the thin strip there, and then the back looking like that. Then this is like midlife 360 where it's got the thicker strip here, and then it's a little more artwork on the back. And then late life, very thin little strip there, and then the logo changes here, and then you got the giant green line here. So it's kind of, this really was like the full gambit of life for the 360. So just an interesting thing that I would notice. And then even then on the mid-gen there was no slash here and stuff. Just stupid nerdy shit that I notice about Xbox 360 collecting, and just stuff you notice over the years after you've collected so many games for it. I think I'm, at this point in time, I think I've breached 300 360 games at this point in time, which is kind of crazy to think about. I would say there's 40 or 50 or so games left that I really want, 30 to 50 games that I'd really like to add to the collection. I'd really love to find a copy of Lollipop Chainsaw. I'd love to find Lost Planet 2 and 3. You know, some of the big games. But for the most part, I think I'm kind of getting close to the end here of everything that I really want to own for the 360, and it's been a fun little quick journey to get all this stuff, and I've been trying to get them for really good prices and this and that, and it's been quite fun to, and a trip down memory lane to like look at how good the 360 library actually was. There were so many good games on the 360, and I've really been kind of thinking about the GameCube. To me is my childhood, right? It was the first console that was truly mine, and that's why I love it so much. And then I have a lot of memories of packing up the GameCube in the backpack, packing up 3 or 4 games, the memory card, the Game Boy Advance cables, bringing my Game Boy Advance to play Four Swords, or doing Sonic trading with the link cable, and just all sorts of shit. And that's why the GameCube's so memorable to me, because it truly was my childhood. And then, you know, I got the original Xbox with my money, so like that's why it also holds a lot of memories for me. And then 360 was like a really expensive purchase for me when that came out. And that's why they just really, those 3 consoles kind of hold a lot of memories to me. And then like the Dreamcast was just something that I like really fell in love with when I got it. Those are kind of just really my 4 favorite consoles of all time: GameCube, Dreamcast, Xbox, and then 360. They just really hold a lot of memories for me. To me, the libraries on those consoles are just the best. They're just the best libraries. They really, like, you really can't tell me the Dreamcast has one single bad game. There's really nothing bad on that library. Like, everything on that library is really just a gem to play. And I just love the Dreamcast. As far as 360 goes, though, I'm kind of neck and neck thinking like the 360 might have, I don't know if I like it more than the OG now. Like, looking at the libraries, I'm like, man, I have a lot of memories with both systems, and I don't like, it's, for me, it's GameCube, and then for a long time I thought it was OG 360, and then like Dreamcast down here. Dreamcast still at the bottom, still love it, but like OG and 360 are kind of like neck and neck at this point. I'm like, I don't know which one I love more. I love both systems kind of evenly at this point. They're both kind of tied for second place at this point because they're just both so good. They have both so many good games. But I kind of think 360 has more good exclusives versus the Xbox, which has physically more exclusives, but they're not the caliber of exclusives that the 360 has. like Saints Row, Crackdown, The Outfit, Perfect Dark, Most Wanted, at least exclusive-wise, high-def-wise. So, like, the definitive version to play Most Wanted is 360. That's why it's expensive. You know, the Command and Conquer games on console-wise, you're only playing that on the 360. The 360 had an immense amount of RTS games on it, you know, and it was just, as a kid who couldn't afford a gaming PC, like 360 was the answer, and it had what I wanted, you know. So I've been rambling too much. I love the 360. It's been a wild ride. I spent a high 3 digits on the 360 store. I'll say that. I bought so much shit, just so much. I bought all the digital shoot 'em ups. I bought all those. I couldn't help myself. I was like a fucking crack addict. I was like, man, I gotta get that shit. It was fun though. I don't regret any of it. I got all the 360 content that I wanted for the most part. The only content that I missed out on, and it kind of sucks, but it is what I think you could still maybe buy it, would be the Fable 2 and Fable 3 DLCs. I would imagine you could probably still get those because that's for like big first party Microsoft, so I would think you probably could, but I don't know. Either way, leave a comment down below everything that you grabbed on the 360 store before it closed. Let me know about the Final Fantasy. I'm kind of curious what your guys' opinions are. And as always, peace out for now. Till next time.
Come here, you mother...